Hey folks, after a long day yesterday filled with countless steps,
One would think that we would take it easy and relax a bit. But nope.
what did we do instead?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Traveling Wildberries. We got up early and decided to walk across the bridge and saunter around downtown.
At one point, we sort of got slightly disoriented as we were looking for the Jets hockey team arena.
This took us through a large downtown building, which eventually led us to a pedway, which eventually took us up to the Jets arena, which eventually took us here, and then eventually took us there, and then...
Yes, we did walk around quite a bit. Of course, the Jets arena was closed, but at least we can say we saw what it looked like if we were indeed going there for a game.
We saw a couple of buskers while walking through the 100 headways. Ken ended up speaking to one dude named Daniel for a little while. He told a story about a song he was playing.
I hate Winnipeg. Let us arcing wrecking ball proclaim that I hate Winnipeg. It's called Weaker Than.
Weaker Than, it's okay. And you,
John K. Sampson's their lead singer.
okay.
I'm Daniel.
Daniel, nice meeting you, Daniel. Nice talking to you too.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. The song was called I Hate Winnipeg and was, according to Daniel, written by a local Winnipeg band. The band has sort of become somewhat famous, and now this I Hate Winnipeg song has become quite popular.
1,000 sharpened elbows in the underground. That hollow hurried sound of feet on polished floor. And in the dollar store, the clerk is closing up and counting loonies, trying not to say, I hate Winnipeg.
Thanks for the brief human connection, Daniel. You can look it up on YouTube if you're interested in hearing the whole thing.
While sauntering by the planetarium, we saw an ad for a Led Zeppelin laser show, which was set for tomorrow night. Being a Zeppelin fan and someone who loves laser shows, Ken convinced me to come with him to check it out.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, the show being scheduled for tomorrow night meant that we had to stick around for another day and then another overnight after the show, which means we also had to figure out some things to do to pass the time.
Yeah, so we decided to look around for a provincial park or campground in the area.
I asked the guy at the gas station if he could recommend a park. He mentioned a park called Birds Hill Provincial Park, which was only about a 25-minute drive down the highway, so that sounded good.
We made our way back to Homus Jr. and put our old bones to sleep.
Yes, and they are painful these days every now and then. In the morning we drove to Birds Hill Park. They directed us to one of the few spots they had left, a little dry camping nook with no electricity. We would have preferred a spot with electrical hookup this time, but that was fine. It wasn't a deal breaker, and as it turns out, the park had a very nice walking path and an extremely nice swimming hole, or lake.
Sharpened elbows in the underground. That hollow hurried sound of feet on polished floor. And in the dollar store, the clerk is closing up.
We spent a better part of the afternoon on the beach at that lake.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for some dark and menacing-looking storm clouds, we would have stayed a bit longer, but it worked out anyway, since we had to come back at some point to cook supper.
These visitors came to say hello as we were getting the barbecue ready.
Anything that is suggestive of a threat. And so what you see are people who are extremely...
Don't be biting my hand. Chip is there. You lost out on that one, buddy.
The reason why the carrots are still there that you threw out, because you didn't put a little note on the carrot that said, "This carrot is for Mr. Bunny Rabbit." And that's why he's not come back to get them. What do you have to say?
Well, if he came along and read that it was for Mr. Rabbit, he would have gone hopping off for other food because he's a hare and would have thought it was for some other.
It's a terrible thing to have a joke just go down the tubes because you mislabeled something.
Yeah, well, I guess you missed it by a hair.
After supper, we sat by the fire and Kat treated us fast. And all the campers within earshot with her rendition of a few of her famous songs. No, it was more like, what was it? Little Green Apples, I think it was.
Oh, I've got to say. We took advantage of the laundry facilities before we left the next day.
Sorry to report that the Zeppelin laser show the next day was not very good. I have seen a few laser shows in various places over the years, and they were great compared to this. Oh well, not a big deal. It was only $8 each to get in.
Since we were downtown already, we headed over to check out the Jazz Fest once again. Things were hoppin'. We listened to some tunes and watched this interesting couple put on a show as they danced together for several songs, both slow and fast.
There's always been and constant.
When we got back to the RV, we were quite surprised to be treated to a fireworks show just outside the door across from the park. I'm not sure what the celebration was all about, but we can't complain as we both love fireworks. Not to mention, it was rather nice of them to set them off as we were coming back and just outside our door.
And it wasn't too long after that before we hit the sack.
That's right, and tomorrow is travel day.
Ciao for now.